You ready to let the dogs out?
What?
Do what?
From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
Join Pet Pals TV's Patty Spitler as we celebrate our furry friends.
Cats, dogs, and all the critters in your family.
Celebrate the bond between pets and people and meet Hoosier heroes saving four-legged lives.
I love it. Good. I'm glad.
It's the Positively Patty Podcast.
I can't wait anymore. Me neither.
Now, your host, here's Wish TV contributor Patty Spitler.
From Wish TV, I'm Pet Pals TV host Patty Spitler. This is the Positively Patty Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network. And on this episode, we're talking kitties. KJ, our kitty correspondent on Pet Pals TV, joins us. Oh, what you need to know about your cat, how to keep your cat happy, how to keep your cat from scratching, what you should do if you have an outside or a neighborhood cat to take care of. And did you know kitties can have other kitties at 4 months of age? Yep, you're going to learn all sorts of things coming up with KJ on the Positively Patty Podcast. And welcome to the Positively Patty Podcast here, Wish TV, and we have an extra special guest today, KJ. KJ is our kitty correspondent on Pet Pals TV. Hi, how are you today?
I feel extra special. Thank you so much.
And that's perfect.
Oh,
well, you haven't heard that before, have you?
I haven't. You know what? My phone autocorrects perfect to the spelling of Purrfect.
Isn't that right? Because you use it so much.
I use it so much. It's perfect.
Perfect. So we're here positively perfect with KJ, and we're going to talk kitties. Now, actually, and I looked up some statistics, more folks in the nation have cats than have dogs.
That is true, yes.
Yeah, we forget about that because when you have a dog, you have to take it out. You got to take it for a walk. You can have a cat or 5 cats, and nobody knows if they're inside cats that you've got cats.
That is...
So it's a whole, you're dealing with a whole different set of rules here with when you have kitty cats. Let's back up. How many kitties do you have?
6. 6
How many?
cats. 6 cats.
6 cats. And they're all wonderful.
They are.
Tell us about your love for kitties. It goes way back.
It does. It goes back before I even remember. In a scribble in my baby book, my first word was kitty. And my mother never let me live that down. So I, turned it into a profession. I feel like I owed it to her.
I love it.
But I grew up on a farm, so I was in charge of feeding the cats. That was I made sure the cats got their milk, and in the meantime, I picked up a lot of interesting personality traits, and just really started to get to know cats. And when we moved off the farm, I insisted that I get to bring one cat with me.
Oh.
And her name was Puffy, and she was 3-legged.
Wow. Now, when you lived on the farm, let me backtrack a little here too. These were outside cats. These are barn cats.
Absolutely.
They were working cats.
They were working cats. And that, the history with humans and cats is very different from the history of humans and dogs. Humans and dogs learned how to work together, and many of the chores they did hand in hand, hunting and things like that, where cats had their own jobs and humans had their own jobs. And if you live with a cat now, you know that that's still kind of the case, right?
They're more independent than dogs are. They're like, you're home. Okay, fine. Now, some of them, and again, their personalities change according to the breed and according to, just their own personalities. Some want to sit on your lap. Some want to sit over in their own chair and look at you. So,
well, and I will say, Patty, that oftentimes the cats adapt so well. They have to. It's in their DNA because sometimes they're predator and sometimes they're prey. So they learn to adapt to their environment. And when people say, your cats are so friendly, my cats aren't friendly, sometimes the cats are adapting to you. If you assume a cat is aloof, if you assume a cat doesn't need a lot of attention, doesn't need a lot of play, they adapt to that and they make their energy a little bit smaller. And it's not that they love you less, they're just living in the environment that you've made for them. You throw 1,000 toys and cat trees and treats and all kinds of stuff like my house, and my cats are living the dream, right? They're like, we are living the best cat life. And it really changes things for them.
Follow you on Facebook. Of course, we're friends. And you had one you posted the other day, and you're running around your house with string behind you, and the cats are following you from room to room. Yes, they're living their best life. They're chasing you.
But I will tell you that if I don't do that, then they're going to have the same amount of energy. So it's figuring out, do you want them to get their energy out in a way that you appreciate, or do you want them climbing your curtains?
Oh.
Or, like they're not, the amount of energy that a cat has isn't going to change. You have to change how they get it out. So I will notice on a day that I don't run around the house with my cats that Johnny, Storm, and Amelia, who you saw running, they're both Siamese. They're high energy breed.
Oh, yeah.
If I don't run around with them for 5 minutes, they will start chasing the other cats. So run them down. They have a great time. The other cats are left alone, and then they nap, and I get to go about my day.
Yes. Now, you don't let your cats go outside then?
Do not, no.
Well, you live on a road. It's different than a farm or a barn cat. That's a very different thing. Growing up, we had, my first cat was Cookie, and actually she lived in the storm drain across the street, and I spotted her, and I told Mom and Dad I wanted her because she was smart as a cookie. So I brought her in, but she would go in and out. And some of my mom's cats that she had, and then some before I moved away to go to college, and I had a cat that nobody knew about. You weren't supposed to have it in the dorm, but I did. That was Poopsie. What they do is let them in and out, and oftentimes it had a bad ending because they'd get up in cars and engines, or get hit by a car, or something would happen to them when they were outside. So, especially for city people, you advise keep your cat inside.
Well, yeah, for a couple of reasons. One, most of the cities, such as Indianapolis, have an ordinance that you are supposed to keep your cat inside.
Okay.
But also, for people who say, oh, my cat just wants to be outside, you can actually give your cat what they need inside. And I work with a lot of clients. I actually was just talking to one this morning who said, I don't know what to do. My cat rushes to the door every time it opens.
Wow.
So we'll throw some treats that she loves across the room and then go out the door. And she'll decide that the treats are way better than getting outside. Also providing some cat trees and different hunting toys and things like that will make them like being inside. So if you have a cat that you feel like I feel bad because they want to be outside, it's safer for them inside, and there actually are things you can do to keep them just as happy indoors as they would be outdoors.
You were over at my house about a week ago or so. I have a cat who they generally find me. I don't know how that happens, the beautiful Calico, but I think she lives like 2 houses down because she'll come to me. She's fat. She's very fat. But she comes to me for, some fancy fees because she knows Patty has treats, but she doesn't want to stay in the house because she has other places to go. And I bring her in and she cries and cries. I mean, I have to pick her up and bring her in, and she wants right back out. So I don't know. I don't think she's my cat. I think she's playing me is what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing.
You saw her, didn't you?
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
I haven't had a chance to show you the video. When I stopped by your house to drop stuff off, it was like she knew, and she got on my car.
She did?
Yes, and would not let me leave.
She doesn't go up to other people either.
She would not let me leave.
Oh, no.
When I went up to your porch and got some of the food that you had left out for her and brought it down, and she would not touch it.
Oh, she's very picky.
She was under my car. It took me about a solid 20-25 minutes to leave your house because she would not get away from me.
Well, she knew she wanted to go with you.
Yeah.
So you'd run around the house with her, and she's chunky. She needs to run around the house.
If she was at my house, she'd run a lot.
Well, you'll have to help me with her. But again, I think she's just visiting me. I'm not her owner, but she's absolutely gorgeous. And because I live in a cul-de-sac, it's fairly safe as long as she doesn't go out to the main street. And she's pretty smart. Now, when I had a cat. My last kitty that I had, about 19 years old, it was former feral, because she was outside, she had kittens. Cats can have kittens at
4 months.
4 months of age. I didn't know that she was going to have kittens. I was feeding her and letting her go outside. Then a couple months later, in the middle of winter, you think they're going to have kittens in the summer and spring? No, middle of winter.
Anytime.
She brought the kittens to me. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I got them in, trapped her again, got the kittens acclimated, got them Humane Society, got them adopted, got her spayed, put her back outside. And then I came home one night, and the lamps I could see, because she'd be waiting for me. On one eye, I only saw one lamp. She'd gotten into a fight with something, a raccoon, possum, something. So trapped her again. One eye was on her cheek, took her to the vet, can't save it, take it out. take her teeth down a little bit, take her front claws out, because she was a biter and a scratcher, and leave her inside. Now, let me tell you, the first couple weeks were rough. I didn't know female cats could spray.
Yes, they can. Yes.
She sprayed and sprayed. She was scared. I understand that. But then after about a year, she didn't spray that long, but after about a year, because they will disappear too. That's why they don't do very well. Don't take a feral to a shelter. They won't show well at all.
No. Contact one of the community cat groups and ask them what's best for them, because typically what you need to do is get them spayed or neutered and put them back out.
Trap, neuter, return.
Yep.
And those are clouders, right? Where they live.
Yep.
So that we'll talk about that next. But anyway, after a little while there, I could leave the door open. You were mentioning that she wouldn't go outside.
Oh, no.
The dogs will go out. She's like, I know it's out there. I'm standing here.
It is too good in here.
So she lived to about 19. She had a good long life. And I'm in the mood for another kitty. We'll talk about that. Okay, so let's talk about, I've heard recently that you're not supposed to use, have you heard this? You're not supposed to use the term feral anymore.
Correct. I mean, it's not like it's a bad word. It is an F word.
The cats were offended.
Yeah. But community cats, I think it helps people understand a little bit more. They do serve a purpose in our neighborhoods. They do keep some of the unwanted vermin away.
I know. Well, it's better than pesticides. That's nature's way.
Absolutely. Right. And there are a lot of great community cat programs now that come in that trap, neuter, release, and then manage colonies. So that they are getting the food that they need, they have the shelter that they need, so that they're not, getting into your trash or using your flower bed as a litter box. All those things. You're like, I don't really want that. We get it, and that's why community cat programs have been set up, is to really acknowledge those cats as an important part of our community and to help reduce the number that we have.
Oh, yes, because they can have what is it like within 7 years, a Tom and a Queen can have something like 700 kittens.
It's amazing.
Now, all of those don't survive because they're outside, but we don't want...
It's too many.
No.
It's too many, and it's too hard on the shelter workers.
Yes. Might I also invite you to go to neighborhoodcats.org, a local facility where they help now coming up in winter, like outside the styrofoam.
The shelters, those styrofoam shelters are
straw.
Amazing. Yep. And a lot of those community programs, they make them and they give them out. You got cats that need to be kept warm this winter. You got a colony. Let's just make them and get them out there. It's changed a lot, and that's good. I think it's good that people are recognizing that if you see a cat on the street, that cat didn't get there by choice. Right. We made a choice as humans to domesticate them, and now there are too many. So we need to make a choice as humans to help make sure that we don't have too many cats, for the cat's sake and for our sake.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. I love the fact too that there's a place for them, meaning, as you said, that they're good rodent control. You don't have to use pesticides. They serve they're very flexible, aren't they?
They are, and they're very protective. I mean, they will keep they'll keep other animals. They'll keep raccoons out of their territory. I mean, they are wonderful. That's why we decided when we were farmers that we needed to have cats around, because they served such a purpose in keeping our land and our crops and everything protected. So they have been an important part of helping us, and now it's our turn to help them.
Good. We often think about the dogs and what they do for us, but think about the cats too. Now, here's something that's come up in recent years, and I admitted earlier, when I've had indoor cats, and my mom had some too, we had their front claws removed. They're saying now you should not do that. Now, let me just say, I've never had a problem with that because I had very good vets. They never had any issues. I know some, I've seen some pictures where, oh my gosh, it's just horrible. But you're advising now that people, indoor cats, you leave their claws in, correct?
Yes. Okay. Well, and what we've learned is that there are a lot of health issues that come along with that maybe we didn't realize in the beginning. Right. Cats who get declawed tend to pee outside of the box more because it doesn't feel good. They're missing, basically, if we cut off your fingers at that first joint there, they're missing that. Yeah. And so they won't use the litter box like they're supposed to. They also end up with a lot more arthritis and pain as they get older in those joints. So there are so many different ways that we can help a cat scratch. They are going to, and even if you've had them declawed, they have
they
that
would go
need,
up and
right?
claw, but
So
they didn't have anything
that is
there.
just an inherent need. It's in their DNA to do that. So what we need to do is figure out what they like to scratch, what feels good to them. Do they want to be high? Do they want to be low? Do they like cardboard? Do they like carpet? And then give them those things, and they will go to that. We have 6 cats in our house. None of them scratch on anything they're not supposed
Wonderful. We've got so many things here. We're running out of time. Jackson Galaxy, tell us about that. That's coming up soon, right?
Yes, Jackson Galaxy will be joining us for New Year's resolutions for cat owners on Pet Pals TV. And I just launched my KJ's Cat Club, which I get a lot of questions, right? Most questions come from, my cat's destroying something, peeing outside the box, scratching on something. And because of the years that I've spent raising cats, I can usually help you figure out what to do about that. So
how do they find you? Facebook there?
Yep, you can find me on Facebook. Go to kjonair.com and you will find the Cat Club, and we can celebrate cats and help your cats have better lives together.
All right. We could go on and on. We're going to have to do a part 2 of this because there's so much to talk about. KJ, you're wonderful. We appreciate all that you do and learning about. I love learning new things. We all do, and we're getting better, becoming better cat people.
We are.
So we don't have a catastrophe. All right. She laughs at anything. I like that. KJ, you're wonderful. Okay, that's it for the Positively Patty podcast. Perfectly. This has been Positively Patty from Wish TV. I'm Patty Spittler. Be sure to follow. And, of course, you're going to subscribe, if you haven't already, to this podcast. Check out our new updates every single week. You can also learn more at wishtv.com, and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook.
Discover more pet-friendly stories at petpalstv.com, and stay with Wish TV online at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast and discover more great podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.